Howdy, partners.
Hello.
It's Kyle and Nicole, and we've been talking lately to each other about guilt surrounding food. So we thought that this would probably be a good topic to talk to you guys about. Sorry, I was distracted by Hank running around upstairs. Guilt surrounding food is a huge thing. It is for me, and I know Kyle struggles with it as well, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. When we first started losing weight, we were allowing ourselves small treats, but they were very portioned, and they were all low fat and low sugar items, and we only allowed them once a week. And that's okay for a while, but when you're losing weight and you see that you're having results, you still are getting those cravings and you're telling yourself, no, I can't have this. And for me, I often go to the extremes where, okay, you're losing weight because you're not eating chocolate, so you can never have chocolate again, just as an example. And then when I tell myself no and I deny myself, then of course all you can think about is chocolate, 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 and that stuff will set you up for binging. If you're a binge eater, or an emotional eater, which I am, both, and emotional eating does tend to go with binge eating as well. If you continue to deny yourself what you like and tell yourself that you're bad for it, or you feel extremely guilty for it, you will not have long-term success. It has taken Kyle and I 3 years to lose this weight and keep it off, and we still have weight that we want to lose, and we battle with guilt over food every day.
Yeah, we found one of the major keys to keep us going was dealing with that guilt surrounding food.
That's one thing that no matter what, if you want long-term success in your weight loss and you want to keep the weight off, you really need to accept and admit that you feel guilty for eating food. And a big thing for us that we talk about often is that we love food. We especially like processed food, junk food, treats. And it's very hard for most people to admit that and not feel guilty for it. We're working now, and have been for a long time, on admitting that, which is such a huge thing. For Kyle and I to come on camera and show you guys what we eat on treat day is a huge thing, because it used to be embarrassing for me to show how much I eat.
Yeah, me too. Like at family parties and stuff, I know I would eat way less in front of people and come home and just eat everything in the fridge.
And I think a lot of people do that. I'm sure you guys can relate to that.
And I wasn't fooling anybody. Like, I was 350 pounds and I'm eating carrot sticks at a party, and the party's like 4 or 5 hours long. You don't get that big by eating carrot sticks. No, and I did the same thing. I would go to parties and always say I'm not hungry, and then I would go home and I would eat a bag of chips and a whole tub of ice cream in privacy so that nobody could see it. And that is what you're setting yourself up for. Not necessarily eating those things or binging that way, but you won't be successful if you don't accept that there are treats that you enjoy and that it's okay to like them. Yeah, it's totally fine. We've just learned that we have to have them controlled and have them maybe just one meal a week or just one day a week, and the majority of the time we eat really clean and healthy.
Exactly. You find what works for your bodies and for your mind. For Kyle and I, we never used to be able to have any ice cream or any treats in the house that we enjoyed. Even stuff that we didn't like, that was processed food or junk food, we would eat it because we would tell ourselves, no, you can't have that. So then you just eat it anyway because you're denying yourself, and so now you're rebelling. Now we have a whole freezer full of ice cream. We have, like, you name it, whatever junk food you can think of, we have it in the house now.
Potato chips, ice cream, frozen pizza, we got it all here.
we've had a bowl of Halloween candy sitting on our kitchen table for the past 2 weeks now, and we don't touch it unless it's treat day. I could have never done that before, and I know Kyle couldn't have either.
And
that bowl would have been gone.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In an hour.
And getting over the guilt, like when it is treat time, we have our treats, and we don't feel ashamed anymore about it. And we show you guys that treat day for that purpose, because we used to feel so guilty for admitting we like ice cream or pizza, which is pretty silly, but you know, your mind works in pretty crazy ways sometimes when you're really overweight or really in a downward spiral or whatever, you know.
Yeah, and we'll cover in another video one day more reasons for treat day, but one of, or cheat day as most people call it, we refer to it as cheat day, but we don't actually call it that to each other. We call it treat day because if we say cheat, then it means we're cheating on a diet, which we're not. This cheat day is how we don't binge and we keep the weight off, because we're allowing ourselves a set time to indulge in those things that we love, and then the rest of the week we go back and we eat healthy and fuel our bodies properly for our workouts.
Yeah, the cheat day, treat day is part of the plan. It's not like it's not a getting off the plan for a few hours or a day. It is part of the plan. It's what keeps our bodies going, and it's also a mini kind of motivator throughout the workouts all week.
It is, and the thing is, like when you eat clean like we do and you measure everything out, you can only do that for so long over and over and over again before you are going to rebel on measuring and weighing everything and eating the same, like for us, beef and broccoli every single day at lunch or whatever it is that you do. You do deserve and need a break from that. You cannot do the same thing for the rest of your life. As much as I like to think so, I often get stuck in those patterns of, okay, this is working, I'm going to do it now for the rest of my life. Well, no, it doesn't work like that, because life is constantly changing and throwing wrenches in your plans. And right now, what's working, what's leaving that candy on the table until I can have it, is saying to myself, yeah, that chocolate is there and I can have it on my treat day, and I can have as much as I want. Now, I still do battle with the guilt on my treat day. I do sometimes feel guilty and say, okay, the next day, the next treat day, I'm gonna not eat as many chocolate bars, or I'm not gonna eat as many slices of pizza. But then I realized that if I didn't allow myself to eat as much as I want, I would just go right back to where I was before. That this treat day and allowing myself to eat on the treat day is keeping me healthy and keeping me at a healthy, normal weight, and not back where I was having huge medical issues and barely being able to get up the stairs or walk down the street. So the whole point of this, guys, is any guilt that you feel, it's normal to feel that way, especially if you're an emotional eater, because you're using food to deal with those emotions. What you need to do is allow it. It's so difficult, and like I said, I'm still working through the guilt, and I think I will be for a good portion of my life. But I'm aware of that guilt. I'm aware of when I feel those guilty feelings, and so I speak them. I tell Kyle I'm feeling guilty for this, and we talk it out. I talk myself through it and say, like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's about addressing those guilt feelings. That's actually just having it out in the open and telling someone that you're feeling that is actually a big part of our success in how we've stayed keeping the weight off this long and getting in better shape.
And saying, I like food. And that's okay. And that was so hard for me to admit. And to show you guys especially how much I eat when I used to be so embarrassed what I eat on treat day, I'm not ashamed of that anymore, because I enjoy the food and I've gotten myself from 300 pounds all the way down to 145, 150 pounds. I fluctuate. I've done that by allowing myself to eat treats and being okay with it. And like I said, I still struggle, and you may too, but know that you're not alone. It's normal. And the key is to say, I feel guilty. Admit your guilt and feel your guilt, and then work on letting it go. And allow yourself treats. Find what works for you. Maybe one meal works for you, or maybe a couple of treats a week, like having a serving of fries with your chicken breast, or whatever works for you.
Some people can have like a small Halloween chocolate bar once a day, and they're fine with that. For us, we need to have a bit more than that to be satisfied, so we choose to wait till once a week to have our treat.
And we need to do it where we don't have rules surrounding food like we do the rest of the week, where all of our protein is weighed out, all of our veggies and carbs are measured. On treat day, it's a little more relaxed. You can eat the breakfast that you would like to eat. You can have whatever you want for dinner. You can have chips or a snack at night, and it's okay, because the rest of the week you're on point with your diet. But that one day is allowing you to be relaxed, eat normal like a human and not like a clean robot, like we do the rest of the week. So hopefully you guys have learned some tips, and we're inspiring you to admit if you do feel guilty, or admit that you like food, and
you're not
be
the
okay
only,
with it.
You're not the only one out there, basically.
No, you're not. And the key is being able to admit it and not be ashamed of it, and just work through it. It's you're not going to get over your guilt overnight. I've been dealing with guilt over eating food since I was 5 years old, and I think that I will be for the rest of my life. But I'm admitting it, and I'm working through it, and I can admit it to people and talk it out, and I know that what I'm doing is working, and I just have to keep being positive to myself. And so don't give up, guys. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or else
oh, you don't want that.
yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.